Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latiners Network. Ready to go over all the shows, documentaries, films released over streaming over the past week, give you our best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And of course, let you know what's coming out next week so you too can create your very own watch list. So here we are, 2024 in full gear. Joining by my host, it's Senor Jaime, aka Chewy, what it is, what it was, what it shall be.
What it shall be is hopefully a fantasy title. What it will be,
Let's see.
I don't
This is
know.
last week of football. That's regular season. I
Yeah.
regress here. I digress. Yeah. So enjoy it. Last week, some of us have been out since week 3. If you're a Commanders fan or I don't know, I guess Carolina fan, Tennessee fan. So many bad teams. But that being said, it's okay. You make it up by watching other stuff or into the playoffs start next week and all that good stuff. So. But besides, being a Commanders fan is always bad news. There's always hope this year, at least because new ownership. But that being said, we're gonna stay with the bad news because we have a sad passing. That's right, in memoriam. The year just started. We're already getting bad news, and you already
hmm
got this looming
We ended.
a
We
looming
ended.
cloud because of Warrior being
We ended
canceled.
23 on horrible news.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one here, and that is American-born Chinese has passed. Got his one season and got the heave ho by Disney. Of course, I didn't get
That was
into the
actually
show.
a good
I
show.
know you,
That
I
was
knew, I
actually
know
a
you
good
did, and
show.
actually did
Yeah.
got really good ratings. So
Yeah. I don't
critically
understand.
wise, so I mean, maybe nobody's watching. I mean, obviously, no one's watching. I
Yeah.
know maybe it's a very expensive
Yeah.
show. It is what it is, but that one is no longer going to be available for anyone to finish off. I think Michelle Yeoh was in that one, which we'll get to her in a
Yeah,
minute.
Michelle Yeoh, and there was a little bit of a short round in it.
That's right. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
Quinn, so he was in there.
I heard it
So
was good. Like I said, I know a chance to catch up on it, but I heard it's very good. And
yeah, it was good. It was a good, interesting fantasy. A little bit of kung fu
mhm.
action. Immigrant story. Like I said, it was interesting, right?
Yeah, it
Quite
was
a
well
lot of
received.
Chinese folklore.
Yeah, it was well received.
Um,
So, whatever.
I don't know,
It
whatever.
goes on the
Yeah,
ratings, I guess. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, and the expense, maybe I don't
pretty
know,
much,
expense versus
pretty
ratings.
much.
If it's worth it. So, it is what it is. And
Which
oh,
speaking of which, I do wanna let you know I have been selected by to be a Nielsen ratings representative.
look at that. Chewy's going to directly affect.
I am yes, I am a direct demographic to represent the citizens here in my town,
That just
my
means
county.
Chewy's going to have to rewatch Warrior on Netflix to help that
All
along.
right, damn right.
Which comes out in February. We'll be helping on that
Mm,
as time draws near.
yes,
But another show that got the axe was Minx after its third
that
season.
was shocking.
Yeah, so
That was
yeah, it got
shocking.
2 seasons on HBO, which we really liked that show. It's a really funny show, and
Did it get two seasons? Yeah, did it get two
yeah,
seasons?
it
Yeah,
got
yes.
canceled. Well, actually, they were going to do 2 seasons. They didn't air the second season. They canceled before it even aired. The show moved on to Stars.
Yes, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
so
Yeah, Stars
Stars.
brought it in
Mhm.
because HBO was in cost cutting, save money right off
Yes,
mode.
right.
With a lot of their IP movies and shows that they deemed they weren't going to continue for whatever reason. It was very popular. I think it was again another critically
Mhm.
acclaimed show. It was funny. It was raunchy. It was out there. Stars picked up and they were trying. I feel like they had done a number of cuts earlier this year as
Right.
well with a number of their shows. I mean, I think they're known for the Book of Fill in the Blank and Outlander.
Mhm.
Um, and so they just canceled another show that we liked season one. I didn't see season two. It was what was the one with Courtney Cox?
Oh, we talked about last week. I forgot the name, but
Yeah, the ghost
yeah,
one, but
like
whatever.
the kind of horror-ish, guess comedy,
Yes,
whatever.
yes, yes. But
Um,
so they
oh,
picked it up to put it into their library, right?
mhm.
And I guess they didn't do well enough for them to consider moving on to season three.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's just, Stars is not a big one of the big ones, you know.
no, it's not. This is one that's gonna eventually gonna go away because it's
Right,
just
exactly. So it's hard for a show to catch up when it's easy. It's not like Warrior, right? You go from Cinemax to HBO, big baller, right? Maybe
I mean,
even maybe Netflix potentially, but
Stars is in the vein of this NGM Plus,
right,
maybe Peacock, where they have a couple of things. Well, I think that back. I mean, Stars had a couple of things, but what the bread and butter, I have no interest in.
right,
And it's just crime series, the book of, and like I said, fill in the blank, because they
yeah,
have several iterations of that story going, and it's still ongoing. I guess it's doing well for them, But aside from that, Outlander, that's all they're really known for, right?
Yeah,
At least MGM Plus has a number of some good
MGM Plus.
shows
Yeah,
that people aren't watching, but they have a number of good
that's a
shows
good
that
shows,
are really
right?
good,
Yeah, they
that
have a
are
lot of good
really,
shows.
really good.
But that's another
Yeah.
one that doesn't get. And listen, there's too many streaming channels at the end of the day, right?
No.
It's really hard, and I get people not having
And
maybe
that's what
want to see.
how we talked about, the whole Warner Brothers Paramount trying to merge their services together, which Paramount's pretty big, right? I mean they've got a lot of good
No,
shows that
but
people enjoy.
Paramount, I think
Yeah,
it'd be great for the consumer if they can be sold to Warner Bros. Because yeah, now HBO's
because you get the
library
Paramount and the
increases.
Showtime, the
Exactly.
Showtime. I mean, which I got from time to time. There's a new show coming out that we'll talk about later, but I just don't. I'm just not going to get just for that one show. I got Paramount Plus, and I'm not going to pay the
No,
extra
no, of
just
course, of
for.
course.
Yeah,
It's just too much going on. But yeah, if they go to
yeah.
HBO Max, which is been rumored as far as Warner Bros.
Hmm.
Potentially buying out Paramount as an option. That's great for HBO. That's great for us because now we get all the Star Trek stuff, all the
Hmm.
they got a lot of shows. The Tyler Sheridan universe. What how many shows that
Oh hell
he's had
yeah! And
on there.
that's a
Yeah.
great universe, by the
Right,
way.
it's got a great universe, so that's gonna come over and all the content, the movie. So I think that's a big win. But I mean, let's see. But yeah, for the meantime, things like stars and all that, I get it. They got to cut. It is what it is. So Minx was a casualty award, if you will. So if you're a fan of the show, my condolences. It is what it is. But we're gonna focus on this show and movies that you can still watch that have not yet been canceled. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's
Hmm.
start with the films. We're gonna start first with True. I don't know if you got this chance to see this or not, but Society of the Snow. This is
I did not want to see. I mean, I heard good things. I just didn't want to see it.
no,
It
that's
just
fair.
wasn't something I
No,
wanted
I
to see.
got you. Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
here as a
This is like the third. I think we talked last week. This is like the third iteration, I
I
believe.
believe so. The last one, of course, if you guys remember, Alive. This is back in '93. Ethan Hawke
Yeah,
was starring this one.
that's the Americanized version, I guess, of the story,
Right,
right?
of course, yeah. There's been some documentary stuff, but
Yeah.
it's been a long time. This is basically the movie tells a story of a true life story back in
Mhm.
1972. Rugby team, I think Guatemala or Uruguay.
No, no, other way, other
Uruguay,
way.
Uruguay. A small plane there. We're traveling, then on the South America, about 40 some people on the planes from the team and members and coaches and whatever, and they crashed in the Andes, right in the middle of nowhere. And these guys went from 46 passengers to 16 actually survived out there for 71 days with incredibly limited resources. Have water because of the snow, but there's really virtually no food. They were out of provisions after like I think 5 or 6 days, so they were literally starving to death and trying to figure out how they're gonna get saved. So that's the story revolves, and there's been a lot of documentaries, but it's been a long time. Even in Alive, that's been 30 years. So this subject matter may be new. If you're not familiar with that, if you haven't seen Alive, then I would recommend this film. It's really good. It's a really good, really well made, and I like what Alive doesn't offer is the authenticity in terms of the cast, right? Because this is
Mhm.
Uruguay. Ethan Hawke, I love Ethan Hawke, but he's not Latino. This is make perfectly clear, right? And which is fine.
What?
It's fine. Oh my God, whistleblowing. But it's obviously it's a Spanish version of it. It is subtitled, so it adds a little more authenticity to it all,
Mhm.
right? But it's just well told story, well directed. This what these guys went through is a miracle. I mean, it's obviously the human determination to survive and the disturbing things that they had to do. I don't want to say if you just a lot of people, young people may not be familiar with the story, so I get it. But damn, that it's one of those things that you think to yourself, would I have done the same thing in their position, right? It's hard to fault them for doing exactly what they did because if on the surface it's heinous, but there's a reason what they had to do what they did. So it's a fascinating story. It's really well told. It's really well made. I really enjoyed the film. Again, if you're not familiar with the story, if you haven't seen the original, because it offers nothing new, right? It's the same story. It's just what are you gonna do
Yeah.
with it, right? But if you've seen one, you have to see the other one. I would say, if you have time, sure. But if you haven't known about this story, it's an incredible story. Absolutely recommend for that one. It's really well made. Jay Bayona, who's a renowned director who does a lot of good stuff, directed this one that really well on the independent circuit. So I definitely recommend you guys check it out if you have the time. Um, Documentaries. Start with the first one here. You Are What You Eat. This one on Netflix. About a 4-part series. Almost like an experiment was done. They got like 4 sets of twins, identical twins, and they were gonna separate them, having them do like a vegan diet with a carnivorous diet. Is that right? I don't know,
Yeah, carnivore, omnivore,
meat
whatever.
diet,
Yeah.
whatever. Different lifestyles and see how it affects the body in an 8-week program, right? They choose the meals for the first 4 weeks. After that, they choose their meals, hoping they stick to the plan which they had the prior 4 weeks, and then measure a bunch of stuff. So a lot of science involved in stuff that I didn't even know myself at the
Yeah,
time.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're not just measuring body fat. I mean, they're doing really deep dive body scans,
yeah,
heart rate.
yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's like stuff
Yeah,
like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
but and also, it revolves around this experiment, but it also goes deep dive into nutrition, into the history of nutrition in this country, um, and the impact. Even bringing up anecdotal evidence of like the one town, two towns literally right across from each other,
Oh, really?
and the impact of different diets available within those two communities, right? And the impact, how it impacts us as people, and how we've changed since since the 40s till now, how that industry has evolved.
Right, exactly. With the,
and
with
and some of the
the
next.
cattle and the meat stuff and what they
Yes,
do.
of
You know,
poultry
it's
and fish,
interesting.
and those with large scale farming, what the environmental impacts are, which some of us, probably most of us, are probably blind to, because we just we care about, way we go to HEB, we go to Publix, we get, where's my flank steak, where's my ribs, whatever, but really no thought into what is the actual process to get that amount of food for that many people, the supply chain in a reasonable manner, right?
Right.
And in a cheap manner, I guess.
Well,
One
yeah,
way to
of
put
course, yeah, yeah. And it's listen,
it. And really
quote
to
the
pose the
great
question,
Samuel Jackson, the
yes.
bacon tastes good, pork chop tastes good, or maybe that was no, that was John Travolta. Sorry. I'm gonna eat this shit. So I get it, but yeah, it does
No,
take me to dive.
but also giving us an alternative, because
Sure.
we're talking about plant based products, and the big rub is that doesn't look like it, doesn't taste like it, but obviously there's been a lot of strides
Mhm.
in that arena, and helping us now trying to move away from just strictly a meat based diet to something that's environmentally conscious, right, and taking that into consideration going forward.
Yeah, so it's just an interesting dive into that. You know, if you're into the food stuff, it's I guess a lot of stuff that I think you will learn. Most people probably, you're right, don't know about or choose not to or ignorant to, whatever. Uh,
We choose to remain ignorant, right? Ignorance is bliss at the end
exactly.
of
You
the
know,
day.
listen, like I said, pork chop tastes good. I mean, what I'm gonna tell you. But no, but I get it. So it's interesting experiment. Discussion on education on the food and where it comes from. And I don't think it got too preachy. To be honest with you, it's like, listen, this is the situation, do what you will, right? This isn't a save the planet kind of deal, right? Just giving you the information. I didn't get that vibe. Maybe you did, but I didn't get quite that
No,
vibe.
no, no. I mean, it gives, at least it lays out information.
Right.
You decide how you want to proceed.
Yeah. So it's
But I mean, some of the campaigns that talked about the Got Milk campaign, I remember that when
yeah,
we were. I
yeah,
mean,
with
that
Tracy,
was a
yeah,
big. I mean, that was like just say no, right,
yeah.
from the '80s, right? We all know where that came from, but with the milk industry and the meat industry, where these things popped up, and they were driven by special interests, but
Of course. I mean
was it
that's
necessary?
no,
Secondarily.
exactly. It is. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, listen, it's that's how it is, right? It isn't that person that knew it name any product, and it's going to be pushed by certain interests. That's how it goes. But it's interesting looking into a deep dive into all that. So I found it interesting. I didn't think it was great. It was interesting.
No, interesting,
Yeah,
very
the twins
interesting.
are funny, so this is worth a gander if you're into that kind of thing. The next documentary is like docu film as Big Cont. This one tells a story, and I forget his name, of an individual who was shady, and I'll be nice there.
Trapani, yeah.
Say rather a snitch. Who never got stitches, which surprised me. But so,
Yeah, that was the part that pissed me off the most.
right,
Not the
yeah,
fact
so
that he
yeah, so
snitched,
this
but
guy,
the fact that, well, let's continue. Yeah.
yeah, so he grew up obviously, doing a lot of interesting stuff, underhanded stuff, and he found his way into the Bitcoin world, where he
Well,
him and so
before that, he found his way to Miami. Okay, let's
he
lay
what?
that out first off. He found his way to Miami first,
Well, he found a man
first and
with
foremost.
shocker. Whatever. So this guy, he obviously did a lot of underhanded stuff. He's like, a thief, a con man, if you will. But him and he got some individuals together, and they got into they found a way to scam the Bitcoin at the time. Creating this fake company, fake website where you can actually,
Well,
you know, I mean, it was fake.
it's
It was, it's
no.
legit.
Okay. They had somehow they got a good idea. They
It was
got
a
an
good
idea.
idea, right? To use
It was a good
a
idea.
way to use the currency from your Bitcoin, right?
Yes,
Instead of just
Bitcoin as
housing it.
currency,
Yeah.
right? Not just have it as an additional,
Right.
because basically with Bitcoins, who is familiar, if you're into, but if you're not, you can't just go to places and use Bitcoin. You have to change it in for cash, change it in for whatever, and then you're able to use it. And that was a big rigmarole because
Right.
Bitcoin was designed for more underworld type
Right,
of
right, yeah, of
hiding
course.
assets and activity. And now
The
it's
black
become more
market
mainstream.
situations and all
Yes.
that. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes. So there was no, yeah, here's my credit card. I have this much Bitcoin, this much cash. Let me buy something, transfer it to cash, and boom. And that's what they sold. That was the idea, to have a card that you could access your Bitcoin funds wherever they were, use it as a card for purchases, for everyday purchases, right? So the idea was great. And it's not like they didn't try to actually implement it. Well, I mean, they actually had the programmers they had programmers, so they were trying, this,
Perhaps, perhaps.
but they were selling a bill of goods that this wasn't there yet. This is more concept, but it wasn't proof of concept,
Right, and I think
right?
they sold like they were backed by Visa, which was not true, and they had like
No, they
pictures
lied.
of
They lied up and down.
yeah
They lied up. That
CEOs and
CEO was a picture from Facebook of some
yeah
old man because they wanted someone, it's funny. They actually brought the guy in whose picture they used. I was like, oh God, I
yeah,
thought he
that
was
was kind of
dead.
funny. This guy was like a doctor, and they just took
Yeah,
his picture. Now he's
yeah,
a financial genius or whatever, and now he's the CEO of the company, right? So giving them
yeah.
legitimacy in terms of the business world.
So they got investors. They hired. I mean, they hired people. They were trying to put people to work. They're trying to make it work, but I don't think they went about it the right way and ended up just basically using the money. Well, with the one guy definitely, because he did it before
Yeah,
at the
of
car rental
course.
company,
Yeah.
where he just used the money for his own lifestyle and ended up with nothing essentially.
Yeah, and they
Um,
talked to the guy who obviously went through his court date and things that he did to reduce his sentencing and all that, and kind
Bastard.
of stool pigeon as they say in the movies.
Mm,
But it's an interesting, very fascinating story. It really is, and just how easy people can get fooled on the internet, right? They can put some story on there, and it just took off, right? I think someone had reported on it. People got wind of it, started investing, thinking, "Oh, this is legit." And there we
yes.
go. Now we got millions and millions of dollars being poured into this company, which was never had no intention to really fulfill what they had promised, right? It was all based on their lie, right? So, and then people started discovering it and all that. I would say there's one quick bit that was hilarious, was the conning got conned because they had an attorney,
Oh my God.
and they thought they had an attorney, house counsel, what do you want to call it,
A
who
New
was
York
advising
attorney.
him,
Yeah.
particularly when there's all season this letter stuff coming in, and they discovered that the attorney they had was some kid in college with a fake website and all that stuff. That was hilarious.
That was classic.
You can't trust anybody, God, on the internet. So there's a lesson to be learned for people out there who go into investing and start,
Hmm.
know what you're getting into, right? At the end of the day, particularly
Yeah.
Bitcoin is, I think I had a great stat towards the end. I think 78% of scams of Bitcoin. I think so, associated with Bitcoin. That's a lot. that's a huge
It's a
amount.
big number.
That's a
It's a big number.
huge number. So
Well, I mean, and that's what happens when something is unregulated
right,
and every cowboy
exactly,
out there can just,
exactly.
claim whatever. Or
Buy your
and
new
we've
whatever.
seen another documentary where they deal with an exchange in Canada,
Right.
right, where the guy disappeared. Where did disappear? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Money's gone. People, coin investment disappeared. It was, poof
Exactly.
into
Yeah.
whatever. And
Just
so
be careful of that
this
stuff. But
is
yeah, but
yes.
it's very entertaining. It is maddening because the guy never got his comeuppance the way
No,
he
and
felt like he
that
should have.
was that was just utterly
It was
ridiculous, man. I
gross. It
mean,
was gross, is what it was. So, but it is what it is, and it's a
yeah.
fascinating. This is a high recommend for me. This is very entertaining. It's very interesting to watch. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. It wasn't that long, so this is definitely one you put on your list if you need
Mhm.
into that kind of stuff. It's really, and it's very again very recent and very
Very
relevant.
entertaining.
Yeah,
Very
very entertaining, very
entertaining.
relevant. As much as sleazebag as he is, he's kind of an entertaining character. He really is, right? There's maybe a movie coming soon, I think personally, but
I mean,
it reeks of a movie or miniseries.
Floyd Money,
Floyd, yeah, then that's right. Then Floyd Mayweather,
Khalid, yeah, DJ Khalid.
yeah,
I mean, they paid some kind to get some promotion and stuff going on to
yeah. Listen,
legitimize or try to get it going, but it
he
just
was
didn't work out.
they went small time, and it wasn't just the
Yeah.
one guy. It was he had a couple of other people with him. Some
Mhm.
maybe they went unbeknownst to what was really going on, but they still went along with it. But it's fascinating, very fascinating story how that all progressed and how it finally ended and all that. So really cool.
Mhm.
Shows, couple of shows to talk about. One, both on Netflix. It's all Netflix week apparently. Fool Me Once. It's this new thriller on Netflix, limited
Limited
series,
series.
right?
Hmm.
We focus on a woman recently widowed. She's an ex chopper pilot.
Ex-military. Yeah.
Ex-military, right? Combat pilot. I guess she actually had combat experience. She was discharged for reasons they get into in the show, but her husband recently died, and then one day she discovers that he actually may be alive as she saw his image on a nanny cam set up upon his death, and it may be tied into her sister who was killed just a few months before that. So she's just digging into the rabbit hole and discovers a conspiracy among the family, etc., etc. She tries to unravel everything, and there are also surprises here and there. They actually get to finish watching this whole thing. This one here, it's a typical Netflix thriller. It's okay, it's fine. It's not great. It's not a bad show. It's one of those where, again, people don't have 5 or 6 streamers. They carry one or
Yeah,
two.
it's honestly it's good, British
Yeah,
crime thriller filler, right?
exactly. It's a good
Where
filler show.
they have a certain formula, it works,
Yeah.
right? Kind of like Law and Order. It's been
Yeah,
around for like
oh, of
20
course. Yeah,
plus years, it's
exactly. Yeah.
various iterations, but you know the formula, and it
And
works.
it worked. Listen, get throw some surprises, and there was an interesting twist. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Don't,
Enjoy
don't
it.
spoil
I
it.
won't
Don't
spoil it. I
spoil
spoil
it.
it. I
I
won't
haven't
spoil it.
finished
But
it. Okay.
what actually happened with the husband? That part was like, oh, I should have thought of that, and I didn't. So okay, that was interesting. So okay, it made sense. So it's fine. It's enjoyable. Again, it was so many of these kind of shows on Netflix, right? We've seen it. It's like a dime a dozen, right? Just another one. If you like those kind of shows, I would recommend it. Not a great show, a filler show. I get people only have
Mm-hmm.
Netflix and maybe HBO, Disney, whatever. So this show I recommend. If you got like all the streamers, and I don't know if I really put this one in the ring because there's a lot more stuff being offered by other services. But that being said, solid, fine, okay. Some surprise, some holes in there. It's not the best written show and all that. Yeah, and it does have the worst intro song in the history of streaming intros. It's so bad. Like, oh my, that's a really bad intro song.
I
I,
skipped
I
the
couldn't
intro, so I don't
skip
even
that
listen to
intro button
it.
fast enough. It's terrible, but neither here nor there. It doesn't affect the show. But it was fine. It was okay. So it's run of the mill. It's really like if you're into those kind of shows on Netflix, you've seen one, you've seen them all for the most part. But it's fine.
Okay.
Chew your thoughts.
No, no, I'm not going to disagree. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this discussion. The next show.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. So the next show here, again, stick with Netflix, is one I was excited about. The Brother
Mm-hmm.
Son. We talked about
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Yeoh. Here she is. I love Michelle Yeoh. I'm a big fan. She's been around for a long, long time, and she's legit. Finally, let me correct myself. An Oscar-winning Michelle Yeoh, of course, best actress. Give her just desserts. This one here, of course, is an action comedy. That's what it's billed at. We got two brothers opposite ends of the spectrum. One is in, I believe, around Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken.
Taipei, sorry.
Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan. In Taiwan, right?
Taipei. Well, it's
Taipei.
called Taipei.
Right,
Chinese
right. But I
Taipei.
think it's in
Yeah.
Taiwan. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
It's what
gotcha.
used to be Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay,
Or, yeah.
fair enough. The other brother lives with his mom, Michelle Yeoh, in the States,
Mhm.
in the west side of California. Obviously,
Typical American, going to
typical American, go to
school,
school, and
a
he's trying to
doctor.
be a doctor.
Yeah.
He loves improv. He's kind of a good kid, whatever. And his brother, of course, is one of the leaders of whose father got shot. Now takes over
Mhm.
one of the triads, of course, in the area. So he's trying to figure out who's after them. Goes to the States to protect his mother and his brother. And now has all three are trying to work together, which is funny because the brothers are so opposite. One's hardcore, a killer, a criminal. The guy's just he's a college kid. He is. He's just a college kid. I mean, kind of dopey and all that. And Michelle Yeoh's in the middle. Michelle Yeoh, who is involved in the triad as well
Yeah,
in her own way.
but he's not in college. He's just fish out of water, man. Like, him at the club is just
Oh no, no,
ridiculous.
it's just he's not.
He just doesn't fit in.
This is a classic kind of fish out of water without him. But yes, and obviously, the dangers come after them. They try to defend themselves and so forth and so forth. Drew, let you go first on this one.
Well, this is there's some place things that are just ridiculously funny. I'll throw in the whole dinosaur Jurassic Park party.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, this thing. I mean, like I said, it knows it's a comedy and tries to make it funny and stuff, and it's got some really funny moments. I like it, but and this kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I saw people's comments on Netflix and being posted on X or whatever, and said that they were the fighting scenes were amazing, all this stuff, and then after I saw it, it's like these people have not seen Warrior. They're like saying, "Please see Warrior, then come back to me, please." Not that it was bad, but we've
I mean,
talked about it. A lot of people haven't seen it.
sure.
Warrior is hands down the best on screen we've ever seen. Period.
As far
There's no
as far
discussion.
as TV, agree. I'll stay with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
As far
There
as
was
TV
no
goes,
discussion. I even may put it up there with
I mean
movie act,
it's
but
it's
we
up
can have
there.
the argument.
It's
We
up
can
there.
have the
But
argument.
there's stuff I can point
But
out
from a
that are better.
TV
But
perspective,
yeah, but
there's
TV,
nothing
no
better.
question.
There's nothing
Yeah,
higher.
there's no
And
disagreement there.
the work they put in, the shots, everything,
Yeah, agree.
people
Yeah,
actually doing their own stuff. Again, so this was good. But when I saw comments saying this is the best I've ever seen on any media, I'm like, and then I see it, I'm like, wait, hold up, dude, hold up,
well, listen,
please.
and I think it goes to the point where it's just not I say ignorance, but I'm not saying that in a negative term. It's people just unaware of other shows that will
Yeah, that's
give you that
hopefully
right,
that
which is
now
fine,
that's gonna go on Netflix.
which
They'll
is fine.
say,
Yeah,
"Oh my God, I was so wrong. Warren's the best."
right. No, right. It's just
But not that it was bad. It was good action. It was good fighting. But once you see something at the highest level, and then you see this, and you see like the use of quick cuts, which is a
yeah,
trick that they use in film and
sure.
TV, right? And when they're using stunt doubles, and you see the fighting choreography is not as crisp, but you kind of see where they miss. I mean,
Sure.
like, I mean, if you know to look for it, you'll notice these little details, right? I mean, those matter, and you can tell that it was done differently versus the guys actually fighting and doing long shots and close shots, and try to do the quick editing to kind of hide that
Yeah, there's
the,
always
the
a lot of
fight. But
techniques that are used in Hollywood to
yes,
mask
yes.
that, and you see it all the time in film as well. And
But it was,
it ain't
but
just
but
TV.
but still good. It was like some good what I call toma moments, right, and stuff, and going on. But obviously, it's not at the level of warrior fighting. But short of that, it was still interesting. It's still funny. It's still a good watch. I've only seen 2 episodes,
Okay.
but there's a lot of good comedy in there, mixed in with the action, with the whole selfie with the little that pet dragon.
That was pretty funny. That was a cool scene. Yeah, there's one in a which I just saw. I think it's the fifth, sixth episode. I'm playing 5 or 6 in
Mhm.
that takes place in one of those. If you guys are familiar with Top Golf kind of places,
Oh yes, yes,
there's one
yes.
takes
Okay.
place there, which that was interesting. It's kind of well done. For sure. Yeah, listen, I agree. This is a good show. It's not a great show. This on a different director would have been great,
Mm,
right? It
yeah.
just didn't quite. I wanted this to be great. 'Cause I love good action. I have an affinity for that. Good action. I love good martial arts movies. I really do. It's funny. The comedy works. The dynamic between the brothers are funny because the other brother sits
Yeah,
in.
it's the
He's a woods, but he's just
juxtaposition
a
of the
kid.
two brothers, where you're
Yeah.
like, this guy's a kid who's really kind of dorky, he really doesn't really fit into the club
He
scene or
freaks
party
out with
scene.
with the violence and
Yeah,
the but it's just he's at home with it, right? It is what it is. So you have that
yeah.
dichotomy between both of them, which is good. I love Michelle Yeoh. Anytime she's in it, she steals every scene that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she was in more, to be honest with you. It's good. It's fine. The action is okay. Some stuff's really well done. It really is. Some cool, good action scenes, especially there's one that's really good in Asana, which you get to that Jew later. So some of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff really works, right? Yeah, is it warrior level? Of course not. But I'm not gonna ding a show because it's not warrior level because a lot of shows would
No, I mean
a lot of
they
shows
never
would be
claimed to
dinged,
be,
right? Of
but
course,
I
but
saw people's comments
of
saying it
course,
was
of
the
course.
best fight. I'm like,
No,
okay,
no,
well,
listen,
let's
I'll say
pump the
this:
brakes.
if you guys like martial or like the genre, but are not too expansive in your mental library as far as seeing a bunch of stuff. If you like this, then again I'm gonna keep harping on this till the cows come home. Is go watch Warrior, right? And that comes out in February on Netflix, and we'll keep bringing it up as they get closer. But it's good. It's good. It's a fun show. It's entertaining. It's not great. I was a little let down because I was expecting more. That's just my own fault. You're victim of your expectations sometimes, and it is what it is.
Mm,
But it's a solid show, entertaining. Again, this time of year was not a whole lot that's coming out or whatever. I would recommend it, particularly if you are into good action fighting stuff, and it is light, and it knows what it is, and that's great. It doesn't get too heavy at times. It is some violence, so it's not like it dances around it. There's some violence and stuff, which is good. You gotta have that. It's an action show. But it's funny. I think it's a good funny moments. I was laughing a lot. So okay, it's entertaining. It's just not great, but it's entertaining. I think I hope I'm into where I want to see season two. I just hope that someone else takes the helm. Different
okay.
showrunner, different director can really give it more oomph and really bring
Mm,
some. Because we've seen good shows like what's Gangs of London, this one for example.
no, excellent show.
Which the action, the way it's done, it just adds so much more. The visual effect of it, it elevates the show more than what it should be. This show needed that, right?
Mm,
It's good. It's good stuff. It's just not. Oh my god, as you see a lot better. And we do a show like this, that should be at the forefront, right? That should be the highlight, like a warrior, right? A good story, like great characters, but at the end of the day, if the fighting didn't work as well as it did, that show wouldn't be as good. We're probably not talking about it as highly as we do, right? But it's
correct.
good. Saw the show. I definitely recommend it if you guys to catch. Again, that's on Netflix. 10 episodes. No, I'm sorry, 8 episodes, I think.
Eight, eight.
And we'll see if this has become an in memoriam in a few months, or if, if it gets renewed. I am curious because I would still like to see a second season of this. I haven't finished the show yet, but I mean, I'm hoping I still want to see enough.
Okay.
But that being said, that's it for the week. So there's a few good things in there. Next week, again, another five banger slate. Starting on the 9th, speaking of action, we're getting a Marvel show, Echo. I think dropping all his 6 episodes or however long
Five,
it is.
five episodes.
5 episodes. Get Disney Plus. For
I'm actually excited because I've seen some of just because it's a mature show, and I think
fair,
that was the biggest.
fair.
Well, I don't know if it was biggest complaint, but I think at the beginning, when they got all their IP back from Netflix, that were they going to stick with the legacy matureness action of the show,
Right. Which they weren't
and
at
I think
first, particularly with
no,
Daredevil,
and
right? Well, that was
yes,
clear, and it didn't work, which is what I said when I first heard about it. I said, this shows you guys are
and,
generic, like all over. I'm like, this is not going to be good.
any company, anyone who
Yeah.
can realize their mistakes and go back and course correct
Correct.
before,
Correct.
hey, kudos to them.
Kudos
Because
to them.
people will stick with it and put it out there, and you get garbage,
No,
right?
exactly.
And
I mean,
so,
it doesn't mean it's going to be good when it comes out, but at least now I think now it's got a chance to be good.
yes,
Before I had no,
but
I had
this
no
with
faith.
the previews of this has given me, oh man, yes, yeah,
It is cool.
this is
Yeah,
mature.
I
This
like it. Yeah,
is
I like the trailer. I like the
the
maturity.
fighting, the action. Now it may be garbage, sure, it may be ridiculous, whatever, but at least it won't be because it's Disney
Right,
five, I
correct,
guess I would
correct,
say.
exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not excited, but I'm looking
Mhm,
forward to it. It's got a chance to be good. And I've said I've never been a
mhm,
huge fan of the Marvel shows for obvious
mhm.
reasons, but let's see. So that comes out on the 9th. On the 10th, Apple Plus. I haven't released anything in a while. I'm always excited about Apple Plus shows. This one I'm not too excited about. Seems very
Yeah.
generic, but it can still be good. And that's Criminal Record. Basically,
Mhm,
it's kind of police procedure. We got two detectives, a young one, an older one, who get brought into a case, or find themselves working in a case together.
mhm.
So it could be kind of typical run of the mill stuff. I don't know. Let's find out. But that comes
Okay,
out
we'll see.
on the 10th. Netflix chiming in here on the 11th. Boy Swallows Universe is based off a
Mhm.
book, popular book, I guess.
Yes, very popular book. Yes.
Not too familiar with the book. The property, I guess, is some kid who I don't know gets caught up in a mystery regarding I guess his family's in danger or something like that. I'm not sure if you know more about it than
I
I do.
haven't seen the trailers.
Yeah.
Have definitely not read the book, but so I'm not sure what this is about. To
Yeah,
be honest with you.
yeah. I mean, the book. I heard good things about the book, so we'll check it out. Again, that's on the
Mhm.
5th. On the Peacock, not to be outdone here. We got Ted, prequel. Ted, of course, familiar with the movies that came out a few years back with Mark Wahlberg, yes, Seth MacFarlane, of course.
Mhm, yes,
Knows who he is. Voiced and I think wrote the movies. I think at least the first one.
I
Which
believe so.
yeah, I liked it. That was funny. That I kind of a real life teddy bear, I guess. But raunchy as hell, right? He's not your average teddy bear. It's ain't Teddy Ruxpin. So now doing a prequel series, which I love Ted. I'm concerned about this one, to be honest with you.
Hey, it's Peacock. Let's see. What do
Yeah,
you expect?
these prequels don't generally do well. But whatever. I'm gonna watch it, give it a shot. That comes out on the 11th. I think they'll probably drop all the episodes. Peacock usually has a habit of doing that. If maybe you're wrong with
Maybe,
that.
yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't seen
Yeah.
what the plan is.
And then for all you gamblers out there, I got something for you. Time to get the die and roll the die, because we got Netflix movie. You know how this goes. It could be all over the place, and this is I guess an action comedy. I guess I don't know, but it's a heist. So you
Yes.
got me in. We
Hmm.
got Kevin Hart, the star here, who's been recruited, I guess, against his will. It seems like based on the thing that I saw, to steal about $500 million in gold from an airplane while in the air. That's kind of the basic premise. The premise sounds good. It's Netflix, and Netflix, the comedies usually tend to the shitty side. Usually, anything else, it could be anywhere all over the map, right? It could be good, could be solid, could be great. So I don't know. Buyer beware. I'll check it out. I like Kevin Hart for the most part. I'm not a huge fan of his movies, but there are some. I think he does. I think he had a dramatic role on Netflix with the Wesley Snipes. If you remember that movie or show, whatever the case was. I forgot the name of that show, but it was actually
Oh
pretty
no,
good.
that was a show. That was a show.
Yeah,
That was
show.
the one
Yeah,
where his brother was in trouble with a loan shark,
yeah, drug
right?
related or
And he
something.
kept on helping
Yeah,
and helping him all the time, and then they end up killing the guy.
yeah.
And the boss was looking for him. Yes, that was a pretty good
That
actually.
was a
I
good show,
enjoyed that
and
one.
that was more of a serious role for Kevin.
Hmm.
It wasn't. That was.
Where
Yeah.
he was playing big stretch, a famous
Well,
stand-up
right,
comedian,
of course.
right? But obviously,
Yeah, it just
big
wasn't. Yeah,
stretch.
this is not. It wasn't like an action, a buddy comedy show.
No,
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 this is
no,
it's
no,
a
no,
drama,
no.
right?
Hmm.
But I was like, it reminds me of Adam Sandler, where I think his dramatic work now is better than his comedic work. I think
Yeah,
that's by
I would
far.
agree. I would agree.
So let's see. So that comes out on the 12th. So we'll talk about those. So there's a few things here and there coming out. Again, we'll be here next week to let you know those are worth it or not. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the videos. Always appreciate it. See you guys next Sunday.
Peace
Peace.
out.